Dear Boomers, today we will discuss verse 23 of the Tao Te Ching. But before we do, please subscribe to the channel, and down below is a link to my Dear Boomer community. So as we reflect on verse 23 of the Tao, I will begin by sharing the verse itself, and then we will explore its meaning together in quiet reflection. So, reading of the verse is like this. Fierce winds do not blow all morning. A downpour of rain does not last the day. So what does this mean? Heaven and earth. If heaven and earth cannot sustain a forced action, how much less is a person able to do? Those who follow the Tao become one with the Tao. We become one with the Tao when we follow the Tao. Those who follow goodness become one with goodness. Those who follow failure become one with failure. When you identify with the Tao welcomes you. When you identify with goodness, goodness welcomes you. When you identify with kindness, kindness welcomes you. And when you identify with failure, failure welcomes you. If you do not trust yourself, others will not trust you. Open yourself to the Tao. Then trust your natural responses. Everything will fall into place. Let us reflect on that. It's very deep. In other words, you have the choice as to how to act and how to think. Here's another one. To talk little is natural. The Tao reminds us that words are not the measure of truth. Nature does not chatter, and yet it communicates everything. A tree stands in silence. A river flows without argument. The Tao suggests that we do that too. We have to conserve our words, says the Tao, and let our presence speak. Fierce winds do not blow all morning. A downpour of rain does not last the day. Nature teaches us impermanence. Even the strongest storm must eventually pass. If heaven and earth cannot sustain constant intensity, neither can we. Everything does pass. Everything is impermanent except the Tao. Forcing and striving and pushing without rest, these are unsustainable ways of living. The Tao invites us to move with cycles, to let our actions rise and fall naturally. Those who follow the Tao become one with the Tao. Those who follow goodness become one with goodness. Those who follow failure become one with failure, and so on. Everything kind of falls into that type of interpretation. Lao Tzu reminds us of alignment. What we give our attention to, we merge with. If we walk with the Tao, we enter in harmony with the flow of life. If we cling to goodness, we will be embraced by it. But if we constantly identify with failure, failure will shape our reality. We become what we consistently hold in our hearts. And a lot of times we don't hold anything in our hearts because we forget to do so. So when you identify with the Tao welcomes you. This is not about striving, but about belonging. The Tao does not exclude. It does not demand. It simply waits for us to recognize that we are already part of it. To step into the Tao is to step into what has always been there, waiting patiently for our return. That is so deep. The Tao is always here waiting for our return. If you do not trust yourself, others will not trust you. The trust begins within. When we doubt ourselves, that doubt is communicated whether through words or silence. But when we learn to trust our own inner wisdom, others sense that. They sense that confidence and open themselves to us. Trust is contagious, but it starts in the mirror. Confidence is contagious, and so is trust, and it starts in the mirror. Open yourselves to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. This final teaching is one of surrender and simplicity. We are not asked to force, we are not asked to manipulate or to endlessly plan. We are invited to open ourselves to the Tao, to trust our natural way of being, and to allow life to arrange itself around us. When we live from this space, everything falls into place, everything finds its place, just as rivers find the sea. This natural flow is what we're talking about here. When we surrender to the natural flow, it is a reminder here to balance, alignment, and trust. We are encouraged to speak less, force less, trust more, allow yourself to move with the rhythms of life as heaven and earth do. And in that trust, everything will fall into place. We do not have to force, we do not have to control. So thank you for joining me in this reflection on verse 23 of the Tao Te Ching. I am Kate Loving Shank. A video should show up here, and take a look at that, but also subscribe to the channel. Love to all. Bye-bye.